Hello and welcome to another edition of Insight, the Greater Cleveland Partnership feature that focuses upon areas of interest to the Greater Cleveland business community. I'm Steve Leutner, and joining me today is Alicia Washington, Senior Director for Government Advocacy for the Greater Cleveland Partnership. Hi, Alicia.
Hi, Steve.
Alicia, today you and I are going to be talking about a very important topic for the state of Ohio, and that is reform of charter school system in the state. And that's currently pending and undergoing some proposals in Columbus. Tell us about it. The House introduced a bill in this on January, is that right?
That's right. So earlier this year, the House put out House Bill 2, which is noted to be the leading piece of legislation around charter school reform. Particularly, the foundation of the bill looks at charter sponsors, the evaluation and review rating system that the governor put in place, I think, about a year prior, really building on the strength of that to find ways to hold charter sponsors more accountable and make them more transparent when it comes to operation of charter schools across the state of Ohio. So the House released their bill earlier this year. They passed it by the spring. The Senate then took up their work on the bill and passed it at the end of June. And now we're waiting for the legislature to come back later this month to complete the work on charter school reform.
This would give the state more teeth, more authority to close poorly performing charter schools, is that right?
Overall, yeah. So the route that the state is choosing to take through this legislation is really working with charter sponsors. So really putting systems in place that we can reward high performers that are doing extremely well educating our kids, improving the quality of education in different regions of the state. But then also for low performers, how do we begin to close them more effectively or work with them to build their quality overall before we get to a place where we even have to shut them down.
And this would be statewide legislation that would also include Cleveland,
It would. It absolutely would. And it's something that GCP has been watching very closely because of that. You know, we worked to get the Cleveland plan passed, House Bill 525, several years back, because there was nothing really in place that really spoke from a statewide perspective to this level of quality education reform. But now with House Bill 2 moving and looking to pass sometime this fall, that just creates greater leverage for us to continue the work that we're doing on the Cleveland plan.
The governor supports this legislation?
He does, yes.
So when the legislature comes back from recess, they'll put this into committee, is that right?
So the plan at this point, because the House chose not to act on the bill before summer recess, and I think at least in terms of what we saw from a number of different reports, it relates to the number of amendments that the Senate made. They wanted time to really understand a lot of what those changes were. So they'll come back after probably spending the last several weeks really vetting through all the different amendments that are unique between the House and the Senate in terms of what they propose. They will put the bill into a conference committee, which would be a smaller group of legislators that will take time to hash through the differences and then ultimately emerge from that process with a final bill that both chambers can vote on and then send to the governor for signature. And
the Greater Cleveland Partnership supports the main motivation for this legislation, right?
We do. I mean, as a part of being very active with the Cleveland Transformation Alliance and the work that's been happening here within the city, we really believe in quality education for kids, whether it's a public school or a charter school. So if this bill helps us get even closer to that goal, which we think that it will, we find ourselves supporting it.
So you'll be in Columbus, Alicia, watching this when the legislature comes back from recess.
That's right.
Well, thanks very much.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching another edition of Insight. In the weeks and months to come, we'll be examining more issues of importance to the greater Cleveland business community.